What's up, guys? This is Raghu Adibatla, and this is Talking Funny. Uh, my name is Raghu Adibatla. This is Talking Funny. I do this every Thursday. I interview a comic, and today we have Mariam Sobh. I met her a while back. She was running a mic. She's got a very cool background. We're going to talk to her right now, so let's bring her on. What's up, Mariam?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just enjoying this random nice warm weather we're getting.
Right, I know. I hope it just continues. But I have a feeling right on Halloween, it's just going to storm like crazy because that's what happens every Halloween.
I know. It's too cold.
I don't even know what's going to happen. You got kids, so I don't know what's going to happen with trick-or-treating. Do you have any do you guys have any idea what you guys are going to do?
I decided we're just going to all dress up and hang out in the house.
That sounds like fun.
Our own little party, you know what I mean?
I know, right? Thank you for being on. So how is first of all, how is pandemic going for you guys with kids and all? How's the e-learning?
It's interesting. I feel like I get more updates than I did when they were in actual school because they'll come out whenever they have breaks out of the room. They're like, this happened and then that happened, and I'm just like, okay, true. Too much information.
That's so true. We're all technical experts now on Wi-Fi and Zoom links, and it's pretty nuts. How old are your kids?
Should I even say this publicly? I don't know. I keep this secret.
Oh, okay. All right. We can skip over that.
I have a preteen and a teen. I'll say that.
That sounds good. Yeah.
In case I have any stalkers out there.
You can shut me up at any point and say, hey, no, it's actually totally fine. So that's cool. So let's get into it. So you are a comic, but you started out in reporting. I think you still do that. So how did you get into stand-up comedy? Why don't you take us back to that time?
Okay, so it all started way back in the day. I got into comedy initially. Like I went to the Second City and I did like their A through E improv stuff. And that was just for me to get over like stage fright because I always liked performing and doing things. And then I got hooked, and then I did the conservatory, and like they had a music conservatory, and I kept going. But I found that there was one problem that I kept facing over and over, which was working with an ensemble doesn't mean they're always going to write you in their material, especially when you don't fit the mold that they have. And so I was always feeling left out and like I didn't really fit in. So then I was like, oh, stand-up comedy, you don't have to be a team player. You can do whatever you want. You're your own boss. So that's kind of how I got into that.
Wow, that's cool. So you were doing getting the classes at Second City, and did you do any improv after that, or you went right into stand-up?
Yeah, I mean, I took a stand-up class through Feminine Comique, I think that's what it's called, or FemCom.
Okay. I see.
To, like, see exactly what it was in the structure. But again, because I'm stubborn, I like to do my own thing. I was like, I don't want to follow rigid structures. I just want to say whatever I want. But I did briefly go back and do improv through the Comedy Clubhouse. And I did more stand-up through there as well. Like I just started performing at their events and stuff.
That's awesome. Were you in Chicago then? Or you lived in Chicago? Or
here for
awesome.
Almost 16 years, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, same here. About 16 years. That's cool. So when you first started, what was your beginning journey like in the stand-up? What was your research process like, or how did you want to go about this?
Initially, like I tried to go watch like some roasting video. No, is it called roasting?
Okay.
Is that the right word?
I think so. Roasts, like even on Comedy Central.
Like,
yeah.
I've never seen them before, so I started watching them, and I was like, oh, okay, this is comedy. All right. And I think I came across a woman named Lisa Lampanelli, who was like some big stand-up person, but I think she's not a stand-up comedy anymore. I think she's like a life coach. I don't know. I mean, that's
okay.
I came across her stuff, but yeah, mostly like I just tried to figure out my own way. There was no one that I really followed, if that makes sense, because a lot of people are like, oh, I know this person or I follow that person. I'm like, I don't really know anything about it. I just enjoy performing it or going to shows, live shows, and seeing it in person.
What year did you start?
Maybe like 4 years ago, but I like in the last year and a half, like I quit my job last year to pursue it more full time. So that's when I was like really going.
Yeah.
Pandemic happened when everything started to come together.
Right. But so you're a mom, you're doing comedy, and there are a lot of moms out there that do it. What's your experience been? Being a family and being out there. How's that been for you?
My family's super supportive. I would say I sometimes feel jealous because my kids are funnier than me. They have the best like one-liners and jokes. I'm like, oh man, I gotta use that.
And I saw them when you did the mic. I did that one mic, and your girls were doing the jokes. That is so cool. So they got a great, wonderful personality. I love it. My daughter's like that. She loves to tell jokes all the time now, and do they ever come to you and go, hey, I got a good joke for you? Or
yeah, they do.
Give you ideas.
And I feel bad. I think they're sad because I'm like still not about letting them have their own like public social media.
Yeah.
So they're, it's like, well, I guess we can give you our jokes, but I think they really want to have their own stuff out there.
I hear you. Yeah, I know it's tough. You don't know if you want them out there or not. Like my daughter always pretends she's on YouTube. She'll say, leave your comment down here. Just there's like no camera or anything, but she loves it. No, that's cool. Because I always I'm interested in comics who have a family, who do comedy, and what that experience is like. So that's cool. So you were a reporter. You were with WBZ, which was an affiliate of NPR back in the day. That's so awesome. So you, how was that? So you were, did you have your own show, or what was your experience with all that?
At BEZ, I was the midday host there.
Okay.
Yeah, anchoring news. Sometimes I do reports. And actually, it's kind of funny because I don't know if you know Brian Babylon. He was
Brian.
He used to always tell me. It's funny because I'm remembering this now. He used to always tell me, "You need to do stand up. Just go into stand up." And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Just
really?
Make 5 minutes and just go out there." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
now." It's kind of funny how it came to struggle.
It's so cool because I've seen some of your clips, and but you don't do any like current event, like social, political, or being a reporter, or being in journalism, like you don't do any humor off of that, right? It's just mostly your comedy.
Well, I mean, I was trying to dabble into it. I was doing like this daily thing, News with a Bite, where I talk about the news. And
right. Yeah.
But it's kind of hard for me because for so long I kept myself very can't really say too much in my comedy. And actually the last job that I had, which was at WBBM, it was kind of like, Mariam, be careful. Like you can't be putting too much stuff out there because you're like the anchor on the evening news and people are going to think that. So that's kind of another reason why I left, because I just felt like my creativity was being stifled. Like I had to be careful, but I also wanted to pursue my passion.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was also thinking too, like being a comic and how it affects your work, because that's one thing I've asked comics is, how does that work, at your work? And I'm sure in yours it's a little different because people see you anyways, like as you're reporting news and stuff, and you're already out there in that kind of certain sense. So that's so awesome that, and then now you're still, you don't do the reporting anymore. You're just stand up full time now.
Yeah, and just freelancing. Cool. Here and there.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you still do the mic every week?
the one that me and Pratik were hosting.
Yeah.
Wednesdays, and we just kind of took a break.
Okay.
I think it was just we come back and then we go and then we come back. I don't know. I feel like I'm just all zoomed out.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to take a break from everything online.
I hear you. I think people are kind of at that point where it's like, God, I need to get on a stage or just do something else for a while. And I know we're at that point. Speaking of Zoom shows and being virtual, what's your take on comedy and virtual? What do you think is the outlook here going forward with comedy? Do you think people are like, we need to get out there, or what's your view on all
this? It's funny. Someone just asked me that the other day, and I was like, first of all, not to dodge the question, I'll answer that, but what is there's apparently some controversy between comedians about whether Zoom or like in person is better. I didn't even know there was a battle that was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Where is all this drama happening? I didn't hear about it, but apparently it's a thing. To me, I feel like the online stuff is here to stay regardless, even if tomorrow everything opened up. Just think about it's just opened up doors for so many people. Like the thing that I got frustrated about going to open mics, like I live on the south side and I had to go all the way on the north side. It's a good 30, 40 minutes each way just to do 3 to 5 minutes on a mic, you got to do that multiple times a night throughout the week. And it's so now it's like, hey, I can just do this real quick.
Right. That's an awesome point. That's so true. Because why can't we do mics virtually so people can see us? Because there are mics people can't get to.
Yeah.
There are mics, I know Laugh Factory when they were doing a mic, and I know theirs is a lottery system, but there are mics out there that are worth, the actual, a lot of bookers are, seeing you at these clubs, but a lot of people can't get to. But that's where this virtual scene works out. Like Flappers.
Yeah, I love Flappers.
I mean, the bookers can see you now. I was doing a show that was based out of South Africa. I'm like, I'll never be able to perform there. I don't now, awesome. And I think I think you're absolutely correct. That's a great point. It'll probably be a hybrid thing now going forward,
Yeah, or it'll be those TV shows. What is it like? Not America's Got Talent. Maybe that's the show. Yeah. They have the audience is just TV screens,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's going to be the comedians are just going to be screens on the stage for people.
Yeah. Exactly. I was, I always like to do research on comics, of course, and you won an award, National Edward R. Murrow Award for Best Breaking News. I was reading about that. Do you remember that, or is it something
it was our team, our news team. It was for the LaQuan McDonald police shooting here in Chicago, and it was an intense time, and it was I just remember that story, marching from the police headquarters all the way down Lakeshore Drive to downtown, and when I think about it, I'm like, those activists were the first people that were shutting down highways. That's when it all began.
Wow.
Wow. Everyone's doing it, but it started here in Chicago.
That is awesome. Did you go to school for journalism and all that?
Yeah.
That's cool. So what was now let's talk about News with a Bite. First of all, it's amazing. I love the content that you put out there for that video. I've watched a few. It's pretty cool. So would you say it's a humorous take on all the current events, right? That you're it was very SNL kind, which was awesome. The way he did it. I remember Norm Macdonald when he was doing that weekend update. Was that kind of your mindset when you were going with it, or what was your plan with it?
So I just wanted to put together something so I was losing track of time during this quarantine, and I was like, I need something that makes me produce something every day so I know what day of the week it is and the date. And maybe if I say it every day, I'll know what's going on. It didn't really work. I still couldn't remember if it's Monday or Friday. But
right.
So that's kind of where it started. And then in the beginning, it was more news, and I was trying to slowly incorporate the humor. As I said, it was hard for me to let go. And then as I did the humor, it's more I'm super sarcastic in person. Maybe my stand-up isn't always showing that, but just being sarcastic about things in the news that happen. And also maybe it's therapy for me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the news is so repetitive. And I mean, I haven't made any more videos. I made like 34 episodes, and then I was like, I need a break because it's the same stories every single day. So it's like, how can I do jokes? It's the same darn stories.
I hear you. And I was, because I was watching them. They were hilarious. I loved it. I loved how you put it together. I'm sure it's a lot of work every day, kind of updating it for the next day. And have you thought about like a weekly thing or?
That's kind of the next step, is taking it to something that's weekly, that has a mix of the different things that I've been doing online.
Right. So, in your most satiric view, what did you think about yesterday's debate?
Here's the thing. After covering politicians for like 15 years, I can't watch this stuff. I'm bored. I'm like on my phone checking stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like their answers are so rehearsed. They just dodge questions and they just repeat things. And I was like, I don't have time. I want someone to be real and like talk normal English. Like, I can't do these big words. I'm sorry. Just level with me.
So you missed the fly. You missed the.
I mean, I saw all the memes. I recorded the debate, so I watched it a little later, and then I finally saw the fly, and I was like, "That is so gross!" Like,
it was crazy.
Like, hey, something on your head.
That thing was so big. Like, I think it came out of nowhere. I was like sitting there, and we're watching it, and all of a sudden, I go to my family. I'm like, "That's a fly! There's a fly on his head. There is a fly." And I'm sure a lot of people actually thought it was on their own TV because it was huge.
Yeah.
So I hoped it was like a murder hornet, but
you think about how flies in general, like, that's a huge auditorium, isn't it? Like, where did it find him out of the entire
That's so true. Where did it come from? I don't get it. I think in the whole like history of broadcasting, I think that's the first time, and nobody was on it either. I'm sure there were screens there showing this, where you see how it's like on the screen. The moderator didn't see it.
I mean, that's super awkward.
I think Kamala Harris saw it, didn't want to say anything. I think that's.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's like, what do? You say something and then they get mad at you for saying something? Just
right. So how did you get into anchoring and doing the journalism? Was that something you wanted to do for a long time? And like when someone asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? You say, I want to be an anchor.
No.
Okay.
I fell into that. I always tell people, because it's like, it was like the respectable thing to do. It was the closest I could get to being a performer, because it's a career. Okay. People are performing. Let's be honest, anchors are performers.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I fell into that. But that was not where my heart was. I was wanting something more creative, something that I could really, put my spin to. And I think that's the hard thing, because in broadcasting, sometimes you get pushed into this thing, and it's this, like I said, the same stories every day. It becomes a formula. I'm like, okay, 2 sentences, soundbite, 2 sentences, done. Like, you just know how it works.
Wow. And it was mostly, so you did both, right? TV, and you did radio.
No, it was all,
or was it just radio?
I mean, I did.
Okay, it was all.
Touch Vision was a startup here in Chicago. That was like a TV/online thing. So I did that briefly.
Okay.
They got shut down.
And for a while, you were doing something with traffic, right, in Chicago?
Yeah, I used to be a traffic reporter.
Oh my God!
And the irony is, I was doing that when I didn't have a car, so I didn't know the roads.
That is awesome. That is so cool. Like, and then at the end, you're like, "Oh, screw it if I know. I don't have a car." So you guys, good luck with it.
I'm walking home.
Just kind of laughing at them. It's a traffic jam. You guys,
right?
I take the L, so don't worry. So you reported the traffic for Chicago for a while. That must have been crazy, because the traffic is nuts all the time, or when when it was. But oh wow.
But it becomes a pattern. Like, you know that between 4 and 6 p.m. every day, don't go on the road.
Right. Exactly. I know. And people got to stop. Then that's the other. I think also speaking of the virtual stuff. I think work is going to be more. I think the virtual thing is going to continue. People
Yeah.
are loving it.
Yeah.
Not having to commute all the time and more productive. People
Yeah.
get up and they're able to just start working, and I think it might be a good thing. Less emissions out there on the
Right.
road, and it's cool. Like except for comedy, we got to be out there. Like if we do shows, Mike's fine, but
Yeah.
what's the Crisis Cast? You started that in March.
So that
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the Crisis Cast is just a podcast that I host.
Okay.
Todd Manley, the former VP of WGN Radio, he has a Earsight Studios, I think it's called. So he produces these podcasts, and so I host them for him.
That's awesome. What do you guys talk about? What
so
is it about?
I don't want to forget people's names. Tom Seraphin and Lissa Druss, they're PR crisis communicators. So they work with times of crisis. So they host, they interview and do all this stuff, and I just kind of like host in between the segments.
Okay. So it's non-comedy related.
No.
It's more of, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Sounds cool. Where can we catch that? I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. Where can we listen to that?
That I think it's on all platforms, like
on all of them,
podcasts and all those things. Yeah,
that's cool. So that started in March, and obviously you guys are doing like this separately, like virtually. There's no studio.
Yeah, I just
that you guys go to, or
I have my.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see. Wait, am I turning this around?
Awesome.
My microphone.
Nice. I like your background, by the way. I know you were talking about backgrounds, and is that covering up like the whole kids mess? And
no, these are
what it is.
Down. These are my makeshift.
Oh, that's on the wall. Okay.
Soundproofing. Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I know. That's awesome. Let me see. I wanted to talk. So you were the comics now. When you were you said you didn't really follow too many comics, but do you know? You mentioned one name, Lisa.
I just happened to come across a Netflix universe. I'm not saying like I'm a huge fan or anything. Like I just comedian I came across. I don't want to vouch for anyone. I don't want people to go watch it and be like, "Oh my gosh, she's filthy!" Like,
no. Oh no.
I just came across her because she had like this title. Yeah. She was known as like the Queen of Mean, and she was like really mean. And I guess she built this huge empire, and then now she left it all behind. I don't like. You'd have to Google her to find out what happened to her. But yeah, like when I was looking, again, this was a few years ago, and I was trying to understand stand up, and everyone's like, "You got to go watch shows," and I was like, "This was like the only person I came across on Netflix at the time." Now there's so many people on there.
Right.
But it's like, where do you begin?
Exactly. It's so cool. So I was reading up about you. I saw some stuff that you had out there, and you're big. I noticed you are a big advocate on the hijab and people's decisions on that and all. No, it's really cool. I think it's awesome, and I think it's so great. What do you do for that? Do you because you have a blog and you write a lot of stuff about it and you talk about it. So what when did you? Because I know you talk a lot about that. So I wanted to get your experience on it. What you've been putting out there to help people.
So I started a modest fashion hijab blog.
Okay.
2007.
Okay.
2008. Yeah, 2007. Yeah. So long ago. But here's the thing. It's kind of lying dormant. I have not updated it. But basically, I started it because, again, the whole thing of me wanting to be in the performance world and doing all this stuff. And I wanted to be on TV, and everyone was like, "No, you're wearing that scarf. You will never be on TV." So I was like, "I'm just going to create my own thing where I highlight my skills, where I bring other people on, write about them." Right. So that's kind of how that thing evolved. Yeah.
Okay, that's so awesome. And I just wanted your view on that. Like, so you have 2 daughters. Have you ever had that conversation with them? Like, have they ever asked about it? And I wanted to know about that. If they've ever asked you about what it is, or like if they need to wear one, or
I mean, I like my views on the whole idea of hijab is that it's whatever you want it to be, really.
Right. Okay.
So for them, it's if they want to wear it. If they don't want to wear it, it's
that's
whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's funny that you're bringing this up because I'm like researching and learning new things about it that I didn't really know before. So it's kind of interesting to learn more about its significance and that people place a lot of obsession over it when it's not even that big of a deal.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's really cool. And sorry for the randomness of questions. I just kind of go through a bunch of stuff and, because one of the great things I do this is I know comics, some of them really well, some of them not. And you learn a lot about, the people you work with. And it's really cool. So, now I know you were running a mic and you might do it again. And what was, do you think that, have you hosted shows in the past? When, before the pandemic, were you like a producer, or did you ever do anything like that?
I've done like things in the Muslim community, like events, stuff like that. But I don't think I've done like a stand-up showcase or anything where I've hosted it. I can't recall.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly I've just performed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you ever have aspirations to do that? Like, do you ever want to go into producing a show or?
Oh, producing a show for sure. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Like I said, I've done small, like not smaller things. Well, I did one big show. For the Muslim community at McCormick Place with 10,000 audience members.
That's awesome. Wow. That's so cool.
It's a different kind of audience, and it's harder to produce for that big of an audience because of the range of ages and backgrounds of people. And so you don't know, especially if you're going to do comedy, like what kind of material are you going to use? And so that's kind of tricky. You kind of got to be vague in general with your jokes. Right.
Were all the performers Muslim background?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's awesome. So what are your future goals in comedy? Where do you see yourself doing?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like I change my mind all the time. Like some days I'm like, oh, I could do this, and other days I'm like, I think ultimately I'd love to have my own sort of a show or be on a show. Like, for example, The Daily Show. If they need a news correspondent, hello, I've worked in news.
That would be cool. Yeah.
It's so hard. I'm like, does anyone know anybody? And everyone's just like, why do you need to know somebody over there? Like, I'm trying to get on the show myself. Like, that's how I feel sometimes.
Right. No, I see that. Definitely. That would be a great fit. Is, they're the satirical news and, it's right up your alley. I mean, because that's kind of what you're doing right now with News with a Bite. It's right along that. And you should definitely, I think if The Daily doesn't work, weekly, I'm sure it'll just get strong like each show. Do you, I didn't see, but do you run any more, just the one podcast, right, that you run? Crisis. Do you ever have any goals of doing like a comedy type thing?
Not really. I mean, I've thought about podcasts. Like I did a podcast with my fashion blog back in 2009 when it wasn't cool to do podcasts, and it lasted for a while. And I'm just like, I think for me, it's just like when I have to do a lot of the work, it's hard when you're like writing it, editing
I hear you.
Hosting it. It's just,
I hear you.
I need a team.
Yeah.
If anybody out there is watching this that is a manager or, a publicist, please reach out.
Yes. Yes. You heard her. And I completely agree. When I started this, I started on Instagram and it was just a live video, like 2 people. But then I had to do more research into it. And now it's this, but oh my God, it's crazy. Like my first time I did this, my mic was off for like a good, 10 minutes, I don't know, and then another time. And now I think, I don't know, if anybody's watching this, there might be captions down here. I had closed captionings last time, and it said Raul Alibaba.
Are you serious?
Yeah. My wife was like, yeah, she was like, "Hey, did you know you have closed captioning now?" I said, "No, I didn't turn that on." Then when I looked at back, it's like, "Hello, my name is Raul Alibaba," and then if you guys are watching this, don't read the captions. It doesn't go with what me and Mariam are saying. It's not. Your name is going to be completely different. I can't wait to see what it is.
Well, they need to do
a lot of problems.
Captions are racist. Like they need to.
Yeah, I know.
They need to figure out like what is going on with the AI. Like everything that I say, like if I put the auto captions on my videos, it says some weird stuff.
It doesn't really. Yeah. I know. My name always turns Muslim. That's just how it is. It always does. It doesn't even.
That's a sign they're trying to you in.
I know. So I have this joke where I go like, and this is true. My one of my teachers called me Abdul for a whole year.
Oh my gosh!
Like that's all she called me, and she called me that so many times that I took time off to celebrate Eid. So. Man. It happens a lot, but yeah, I get it. It's tough when it's just you, but you know what? You're doing a great job with it. I think you should definitely continue doing that weekly. To be great. You know, I love it. So I love this one joke you do. I saw it in one of the clips about Mary Kay. Was that a real life experience that you went through?
And the trauma is real. I thought about it the other day. I was like, this whole time I felt so special. Like, yeah. And I was just thinking, man, how do they manipulate people this bad that they go and reach out to people they haven't talked to in years and they're like, I want to take you to this women's leadership. You would be great. And I'm like, really?
Women's leadership. Yes.
And I should have known something was up because when I got there, everyone was like so decked out and they were all wearing like dresses or skirts. And I learned later, like in the whole Mary Kay thing, you're not allowed to wear pants.
Wow, really?
Really interesting. Like you have to dress this sort of stereotypical gender role way. And I was just like, oh, but I don't like to wear dresses. Like what?
Crazy.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And like right when I got in, they separated me from my friend, or acquaintance, maybe I should say, because she pulled me into that scam. But anyway, they separated me from her. And so it's like, you can't even talk to the person, like, what is this? And then they just start telling you these success stories, like, look at my check for $10,000 this week, and look at my check. And I'm like, oh, I guess I could make some money off of this. Oh my God, it was so bad.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. I went to one of my friends came over and was like, hey, you got to do this thing that I do. It's really cool. Like come, and it's like a salesman type, thing. And what you do basically is you sell a set of knives door to door. And I forget what it was called, but it had some really cool name, the company name. And that's all he said was like, it's great. Like you want to, he's like, oh man, you want to like take some awesome vacations. You want to be able to afford a boat, like all this. I'm like, yeah. I would love to own a boat sometime. That'd be great. Like these are these people probably at the very top who've like spent like 40, 50 years convincing their friends. So now they finally own a boat 40 years later.
Oh yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So like I go there and like you have to listen to their spiel and you see this video of it cutting like pennies, and because this is what you have to do. You have to go to people's houses and you have to like cut things and show them and stuff. And I'm like the whole time, like, I hope they don't pick me. I'm like, I hope they don't. But of course they do. But I never went back. I'm like, screw this.
Oh, man.
And then there's that other one. What's the other one? There's another pyramid scheme.
There's like vacuums. There's essential oils.
Yeah. And oh my God, there's so many of those. And people have tried. And they're very sneaky, right? It's like, oh, the best one. Sorry, I don't mean to like make this one-sided here again, but this girl, like before like I got married, like when I first moved to Chicago, and this girl like friends me on Facebook, is like, hey, and then like I thought it was a girl that just wanted to meet me. So like we went, and it seemed like a date. Like, nope. That's what they do. She at the end, she's like, okay, so why don't you come to this thing? Like, it'd be great. And what we do is, and then I knew it was a pyramid scheme. And
that was like a pyramid scheme catfish situation.
Exactly. I was catfished.
It's crazy.
Oh, man.
Well, because they know what to say to you. Like the thing that happened with Mary Kay for me was the lady in charge of this one group in the downtown area, she like knew what buttons to push. She was like, when I tried to get out of it, she was like, well, I'm here at the soccer game with my kids. I get to watch them. I don't have to be in an office. I choose my hours. And I was like, oh, I'm a horrible mom,
Oh no.
But the funny thing is, everyone tried to warn me, and I was so stubborn. My mom was like, Mariam, it's a scam, it's a scam. I was like, I'm not listening to you. They told me you were going to say that. I was like, this is a cult. I'm now falling for them, because that was their whole thing, was just like, don't research this on the internet, and your family's going to try to convince you it's a scam, and you need to open a separate bank account. Don't let your husband know, because he's going to try to talk you out of it. I was like, oh, okay.
The best was when you were like, don't Google it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to find out all these people reviewing it. It's a scam. Don't go for it. It's a pyramid scheme. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. The people who join that seem so happy, but I think they just have a really good therapist. I don't know.
I know, right?
I think
one second. I'm about to.
No problem.
Oh man, sorry. I think I have allergies, and I just keep.
Oh, that's okay. You all right?
Yeah. I actually went today to take a COVID test, because I'm like.
Oh.
Allergies, sore throat.
Oh right, yeah. You said that you were gonna. How everything good?
I don't know. I'll find out in a couple days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If I'm still picking up.
I was gonna. Oh man. I was gonna say something, and now it just went out of my head. That's okay. What was the last thing? Mary Kay, and then you were saying. Can you just go back to what you were saying?
Oh, I was just the Mary Kay Cosmetics people. Yeah, I don't know. I mean.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the pyramid schemes are always interesting. And now I can spot them from a mile away. Now at least that experience, the benefit is now I know.
So that's wow. I know they're pretty nuts. Oh yeah, that's right. And then I said that they must have a good therapist, but that's they're pretty crazy. I was gonna ask you. Oh my God, it just went out of my head. That's okay. What sorry, I had this question in my head. Now it just went out of my. By the way, do you know? So Robbie Gandy Davis, I get these comments sometimes. Mariam's timing sucks when it comes to quitting a full-time job. I hope you will be back on stage in front of a live audience.
Actually, I thought it went well, because I quit right before they were laying people off because of the situation. So I went in time.
You saw that. Coming away. I love it when that happens. That happened to me. I left and
they were cutting people's salaries too.
Yeah.
By a huge chunk. And I was like, I wasn't gonna work those hours for that much.
That's the exact that happened to a lot of people. They're like, I'm this is a good time to just leave, because it would have gotten pretty crazy. I think. But we'll be in a better place soon. Hopefully, we'll be on stage. I think this is the greatest city for people being connected. And did you live anywhere else before Chicago?
I lived in Urbana-Champaign.
Okay.
That's where my parents are. I lived in Saudi Arabia. I lived in Virginia, and I'm actually from Colorado.
Okay. Oh, cool. Colorado. So you're Saudi Arabia. That's awesome. Have you been back?
No, because I think now you could probably go back.
I mean, not now, but
Yeah,
what's
back then, unless you had a job, you weren't allowed in the country.
Oh, okay, all right.
But
Colorado, that's cool. There's actually a pretty cool show. I'll tell you about it. And a mic out of Colorado.
Oh, cool.
They're all from Denver, mostly. A lot of people.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I was born in India, but I came here really young. And I mean, travel, it's going to be nuts. Hopefully things open up, I think we're all itching to get out there. It might not be a bum rush right away, but slowly things will open up. I want to do this thing. And we're going to get into it. It's so basically it's called Ragu's Hot Sauce Seat.
Uh-oh. Okay?
It's really what it is it's a bunch of crazy questions.
Okay, hold on.
Actually, some of them were asked by people from Google and Facebook and in job interviews.
Oh, wow.
And then some of them, I think I just Googled and found there's some crazy questions, but I think you'll do well. They're hilarious. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, number 1. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be?
Multicultural.
Awesome answer. I love it. That's great. Different colors in one. That's so cool. So cool. And very appropriate for these times, you know. I think that's awesome. Name something you can do with a pencil other than write with it.
Crush it.
That's cool. That's a unique answer. I haven't gotten that one yet.
The pencil.
Yeah, you can. I've gotten stab somebody, put it in your hair to hold it up. Yeah. But or like bite it. I got that one too.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, in school, people used to bite it and then it would look really cool. I used to do that. Favorite 90s jam?
90s. Maybe anything Ace of Base?
Yeah, I saw the sign.
Yeah.
What happened to them? Like only once? They just had one album or two?
I just remember they were like so big. I was in Saudi Arabia at the time. I mean, they were
okay. Oh, I'm sure. Oh my God. They're you know, a lot of these like Ace of Base and then like even these 80s like Bryan Adams, they were really big in India. They listened to like a lot of the stuff here. And it's funny, like in here, nobody listens to that much, like, you know, Ace of Base or anything. It's like only, you know, out in other countries, they love it. Like Metallica is huge in India. It's awesome. Are you a Metallica fan? No?
I've probably heard their songs and some.
Okay.
I got a friend that was really into Metallica, but
yeah.
I don't know. If I heard a song, I would probably know what it is, but I don't know like the names of their stuff.
I'm not gonna sing it. So, I have a really bad voice. My family tells me all the time. That's why I tell jokes. So, you know. Let's see here. Okay. If there was a movie made about you, like about your comedy, your life, and who would be playing you? What actress would you want playing you?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, that's so cool. Yes. She's awesome. So great. Oh my God. Elaine.
Yeah.
Are you a big Seinfeld fan?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I just started like catching up on shows that I never watched because I grew up without television. So
okay.
Like Frasier.
Oh yeah, Frasier.
I like watching them because the writing is phenomenal, and I'm just like really amazed at like just the timing and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Even the old Roseanne from the 80s. I'm really, really surprised. Like the topics they talked about, I'm like, wow, this is way ahead of your time. You know, just stuff they tackled. I was like, wow, this is interesting. So
would you ever the writers? Yeah. Would you ever want to write for a TV show?
I think so. I mean, it's funny because before this, I was watching a Zoom webinar on like writing for TV and
okay, cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested. Yeah, it just.
I think you'd be a good writer because you know because when you do those news with a bite, I mean it's pretty cool. Like I know you've prepared a lot and what you're going to be saying and you know how it's all going to wrap up. So that was cool. I can see that. Yeah. See here. Okay, this one's interesting. You're trapped on a life raft with a nun, an old man, and a baby, but there's only room for 3 of you. So you got to throw somebody off the raft. Who are you choosing?
I'll throw myself off.
Whoa, that's a first. Wow, you just blew my mind. Like that's a first. Really? Why?
I mean, you have to save people's lives. I don't want to. I'll sacrifice myself.
Oh man, I could just see. That's what a true activist, a true like social like activist, a person who really cares will say. You're gonna sacrifice yourself for them. Oh my god, that is unbelievable. Wow. People usually say the old man because he's lived a long life. Sometimes the nun because they don't want to hear any religious talk, and then sometimes the baby. The baby. People
Man,
will pick the baby. Yeah, I know. Very little though, not too much, but it's happened. People don't know why anybody would want to throw a baby. All right, here we go. What set of items could you buy at a store to make the cashier really uncomfortable?
Oh man, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
I know exactly where you're gonna go. We don't even have to answer that.
Yeah.
You're thinking the same thing. Like that's exactly it. Those are the items.
I can't buy candles or lighters. It's
along with those unmentionable items that people always say. It happens. Okay, here's the last question here. And you're not going to offend me in any way. Ragu or Prego? Which one do you prefer?
Oh man, I haven't had any of those in a long time. I like to make my own sauce.
That's cool.
I guess it depends. Cool. I just don't like sauce with chunky, skinless tomatoes in them. It just seems abnormal.
Skinless tomato. Wait. Oh, the skin. Oh, yeah. That.
They have like the chunky sauce, and then there's like
I'm
like,
well,
why is it naked?
Where's the skin? That would be Prego. Then you don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah, because you put any breadstick or anything in there, it's supposed to like stand up straight because it's chunky and you know. So maybe ragu or something else. I don't know. But anyways. Those were the hot sauce questions that I had.
Awesome.
I love your answers because they're very unique. I haven't heard, especially the one where you throw yourself off the raft. That is crazy. I've never gotten that before. But anyways.
Well, that's my thinking is just a little quirky, I guess. I get things from different angles.
Do you watch any comedy documentaries or Netflix specials, or do you keep yourself in the loop out there? No. A little bit. Nope.
Well, like, I feel like the last thing I watched was probably like a Dave Chappelle special.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, or like shows, like series.
Yeah.
Shoot, what is that? There's a Mark Maron show that he produces. It's like these women wrestlers. I can't remember the name of that show.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I just read today that they're canceling the 4th season because of COVID, and I'm like, oh man, it was
right. Yeah.
Tiger King, is that a comedy?
That's hilarious. I still have to watch the whole thing. A lot of people, it's funny because I've heard this many times. We're like, can we go back to the part of the pandemic where it was all about Tiger King?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that there was a happy place in this pandemic, I think, before everything got all political. Yeah. I think there was like a happy place. Like, it was fun running for toilet paper. I don't know. There was like
well, I think it's true. I think in the beginning, everyone thought it was just like a fun, like, I don't know, camp.
Yeah.
Sleepover camp.
Right.
Like, 3 weeks of fun. We're going to go to Zoom mics every night. We're going to talk about this. And now everyone's just like, I can't do another mic.
I know. It's become a drag. I think it's like some people, it's that fight now of like, no, don't open too early. No, open early. And it's become really political. That's why, like, I think let's just rewatch Tiger King and all the stuff that was at the beginning of this pandemic. And it was so, but, so now that you're doing comedy, you're on your own, would you ever want to write more material on like news and like take it on the stage? Or, I mean, like to shows or?
Yeah, I mean, do you mean like comedy and news?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like doing like current event jokes and stuff, like whatever humor you have in News with a Bite, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think what I've learned is like doing some of these open mics online was helping me to come up with material for the shows that I was doing because I had to practice it. And then vice versa, some of the stuff I do for the shows, I'm able to use for like actual online shows with audiences.
All right.
Kind of a bit of both. But before
awesome.
Before the lockdown, actually, I forgot about this. I had done a one-woman show at Second City that I put on. And I had plans to like tour it in different places and possibly perform it. And then, then things.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow, that's cool. Now I wanted to ask also, so like you've been doing comedy for 4 years. Would you say like when you started to when you're where you are right now as a comic, like, are you completely different than when you started, or are you pretty much the same of when you know, I don't mean like getting better or something. I mean like the type of comic you are. Like,
I think I'm definitely more laid back and like less judgy about myself and my material, and just like whatever comes out, and not to like.
Yeah.
But then there are those occasions sometimes you're like, oh man, was that like dumb? Like, why did I say that? You know? But yeah, I think I'm definitely more confident in it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a good spot to be in. It's you know, once you're there, you know, you're more like, okay, now let's get into more of, you know, the joke writing as opposed to like, how am I gonna be, or you know, which is good, you know. And that's awesome. For, you know, congratulations on doing this full time. You're doing it, and I hope you know, we all get out there and you're on stage and we're doing shows. So perfect. Well, Mariam, thank you so much for being on with me.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. You know, so cool. We'll look forward to what happens with News with a Bite, and I'm gonna make sure to share it and let people know who haven't watched it. People watching right now, watch News with a Bite. It's every day right now still.
Oh, no, I stopped.
You stopped. Okay, but you know, but she will continue. You guys just look for it. No, well, go to the ones that have already been made. They're hilarious. They're really funny. And then there's Crisis Cast, right? Mm-hmm. That's when is that?
Once a week. I think it's Thursdays. I'm not sure exactly. But it's once a week.
Okay. All right. Cool. On any place where you can listen to podcasts, listen to it. And then, look out for Mariam Sobh. She's out there online, so check out her material. Thank you so much, Mariam.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Yep, no problem. Thank you. Bye. So this has been Talking Funny with Mariam Sobh. And I do this, like I said, every Thursday. And I got next week, got a cool guest, actually one of really good friends of mine. She actually is an expert in vegetarian food. She's traveled a lot. She's going to share with us some really cool dishes, and we're going to have a great conversation. Non-comedian next week, but still really, really going to be really interesting. So this has been Talking Funny. I'm Raghu Adibatla. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.